Okay guys, let's get into our midweek astrology, closing out the month of November and following right on the heels of this very high intensity full moon in Gemini that we are moving away from now. We do have some shifting vibes going on. The moon will leave Gemini and enter Cancer on Wednesday. This is definitely going to help to simmer things down a little bit, maybe relieve a level of intensity that's been going on. But the big news for today really is an exact conjunction in the sky between Venus and the south node of the moon in Venus's sign of Libra. The nodes of the moon have everything to do with karma and destiny, the past and the future, where we've been and where we're going to next. And when the nodes are activated, these are usually like some fated situations, events, occurrences, stuff going on that is for like a specific purpose. And with Venus being there, it's gonna have to do with relationships, partnerships, what we've loved, who we've been, our preferences, our tastes, a lot of personal changes underway right now. And we're gonna be moving on from a lot of things. The past may be coming up this week in some very relevant ways, especially in the context of what we're letting go of now and where we are moving towards. And we've got a lot that we need to talk about midweek this week, following the full moon, and as we head into the month of December. So let's get into it, you guys. Let's talk about all this energy, everything we have going on, and all the details, and what we might be able to anticipate as we close out the month of November. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Wednesday, November 29th, 2023. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. In this video, we're talking about the energy. What do we have going on? What is our energetic atmosphere looking like for today? And we're going to be talking about the energy for tomorrow and Friday a bit as well, just generally closing out this month of November. On Friday, I will put my December overview out, and we will take a look at what things are looking like throughout the course of the month of December and what the whole month is kind of doing for us on an energetic level. So you're not going to want to miss that. As we close out this month, though, I do think, like I said, things are probably going to start calming down a little bit. Maybe like the level of heat and intensity that has just been the primary undertone of everything pretty much this entire week. Actually, the whole month of November, okay? The entire month of November, the Sun and Mars have essentially been traveling together. We had a Mars-Sun conjunction, which meant that we began a new 2-year Mars cycle in the sign of Scorpio in the month of November, and the whole entire month has sort of been like a fireball energetically, pushing for things to happen and bringing perhaps some things to a head, creating a quite explosive atmosphere that we have been navigating, which I'm sure you are well aware of by this point in time. But when I say things are simmering down and calming down, I do mean in relation to sort of the things that have been transpiring all month long. The moon will leave Gemini, where our big full moon was in the opposition to Mars and square to Saturn on Wednesday, and enter Cancer. We'll try and Saturn first. This is also a positive aspect with the Saturnian influence. I feel like this is sort of like calming things down to some extent. And then of course, just the Cancer energy generally. We may feel like we're kind of like licking our wounds. Maybe we need to engage in some type of self-care or some type of recovery at this point. But that is what the energy is priming us for right now. So more of an introverted day, and a day where if you can prioritize maybe nurturing yourself, taking care of yourself, having some compassion for yourself or others somehow, this is probably going to do you some good. We need some sort of soul rejuvenation and soul healing, I feel like, to some extent, after all of the excitement perhaps that's been playing out this past couple of weeks. So we've got that going on. But as I said in my intro, the real business of the day is this exact alignment between Venus in the south node in Venus's own sign of Libra. Of course, because this is happening in the sign of Libra with Venus in the sign of Libra, this is going to make it more powerful in its just manifestation generally, because Venus rules Libra. So this is Venus in her sign of rulership in the conjunction to the south node. So the Venetian themes here, especially like the Libra oriented Venetian themes, are of course going to be the strongest themes that we're working with in the context of what the South Node has to do with, and that's these endings, this release, this karmic situations that could be coming up as well, and moving on from these things. So there's probably going to be an emphasis on Venus stuff and an emphasis on South Node stuff. And this has probably been playing a role and kind of relevant and active all week long because we've been building into this energy, and it's going to be present for the next couple of days as well while Venus moves out of this aspect. So it's probably been coloring a lot of what's been playing out kind of across the board generally this whole week, but this is the day, Wednesday, when these when this alignment is happening specifically. Now let's talk about the South Node, right? This is some type of the South Node. This is the past. This is what we have become very comfortable with, what we've learned to deal with very well, but what like isn't serving us anymore. What if we continue to hold on to it and to remain attached to it while it may have served a valuable purpose in our lives at some point, it at this point has become a blockage to the continuance of growth in alignment with true potential and authentic purpose at this point in time. Now, since we're talking about the nodes of the moon, specifically the South Node today, because that is the planet that Venus is aligning with, that is always going to bring into context and relevance and significance the energy of the North Node, which is always the polar opposition point to the South Node. The North Node and the South Node are in a direct opposition to each other. The South Node is what we are graduating from basically, and the North Node is what we are evolving and being pulled into on a soul-based level. When the nodes are activated, this also has a lot to do, of course, with fated events and occurrences taking place. Some type of karmic release, okay, from in the sign of Libra, the way that we have related to the world around us, or to the people in it, or to ourselves generally. Karmic release, fated release, time to let go of, moving on from the Libra Venus themes, an image that we have held of ourselves and projected outwards in the past, how we've related to ourselves and others. Like I said, what we've valued, what we've desired, what our preferences have been, who and how and what we have loved, okay, what we've been attracted to, you know, what our tastes have been, what we have found beautiful, worthy, valuable, the ways that we have maintained peace, balance, and harmony in ourselves and in the world and in our social dynamics around us, the ways that we have presented ourselves, the perceptions that we have held internally of fairness and justice and reciprocity in terms of the relationships in our lives and the ways that we've related to the world, the way that we've spent our money, the way that we've used resources and assets, our relationship to the material world and to material possessions generally, money, things that we've invested in, deals, commitments, negotiations that we've made, what we've been associated with, who we've been associated with, and the face that we have shown to the world to maintain that. All of this type of stuff is what we could be coming to find is no longer a representation of who we feel we really are anymore. And you know, these are the areas that people are going to be like shedding a layer of skin, I feel like, over, you know, maybe throughout the course of this week, but definitely moving into Sagittarius season. I feel the common sentiment is going to be, and we're going to be kind of coming up against situations where it's like, where has the effort that I've been putting in to keep the peace or to maintain this, that, or the other image, and to like hold this whole portrayal of something together for myself to like achieve some desired outcome that seemed worth it in the past. Well, like maybe it's not worth it anymore. And like the more I put myself through this, the more I'm realizing whatever it is, whoever I've been trying to be, you know, whatever I've been doing to maintain something that I thought I wanted is actually creating a scenario where I'm more detached from myself than ever, and I'm more empty inside than ever. And in order to like fill that void or do what I know is truly in my best interest or what I'm called towards at this point in time, like there needs to be a change. I need to let go of something. I need to stop presenting myself some type of a way. I need to find my like true self again and begin to stand into that, because that is the only thing that's like filling me up inside. I feel like as we move forward, of course, we're moving into the age of Aquarius, which is an age that has a lot to do with self-mastery, okay? And the like self-knowledge and self-understanding, and a major facet and component of that is going to be a recognition of the authentic self, of the true purpose, and like this soul calling towards activating a level or a layer of destiny that we're like being compelled towards, which in this circumstance, in this case, in the context of the South Node that we are emphasizing today, that also once again brings up the North Node energy in the sign of Aries. Aries and Libra, this is a polarity about the self and others. Aries is the sign of the self ruled by Mars. Libra is a sign of the group and other people ruled by Venus. So while there is a disconnect and a detachment from the group associations that like caused us to need to maintain some image or, you know, some value system or some presentation, that we're realizing now is perhaps pulling us out of our authentic truth, and that's what we're having to let go of, and that's what we're having to move on from, leave behind, detach from, with South Node energy. Like that's the karmic loop that we've been trapped in. The new energy, the North Node in Aries, this is like a radical re-identification with the self. This is like a personal mission or a personal journey that needs to be undertaken to redefine the self somehow and to come back into a place of personal power where we are like defining our own destiny according to the call of our soul that we're answering, right? This is an energy, North Node in the sign of Aries, where we are, the next phase of growth is like becoming the hero in our own story, okay? And we've also got Chiron right now in the sign of Aries, which is another theme that we're going to be talking about through 2024, and perhaps this like hero's journey that we're kind of all going through in order to take back our personal power and to like reclaim our destiny and to, you know, find our purpose and really step into that. But the preliminary phase of becoming who we're meant to be, that as, you know, we're narrating the shift of the ages here, it all comes back into this greater transitional process that we are in right now, this unfolding cosmic blueprint, moving us into the age of Aquarius, which requires us to go through this process of personal growth in terms of redefining the self and to step into a greater level of self-mastery and to activate destiny, because ultimately the age of Aquarius is sort of like an age of self-service, but it's also like discovering that we are all like one piece of the puzzle and with or one individual light that illuminates the overall whole. And without all of us coming from a place of self-actualization, like the whole organism can't like grow and expand and evolve in alignment with the higher potential and with the destiny that is coming from the higher level for the collective. Do you understand what I mean? So it's like the age of Aquarius at this point in time is representing a collective evolution for the human spirit and in its embodiment in human form on earth in 3D reality. And the way that that happens is on a microcosm through the individual going through this process of awakening and awakening to these deeper and higher truths, and to feel this, you know, this calling from within, and to shed the old skin of the images and the associations of the past, and to go on the hero's journey necessary to, you know, find the purpose and activate the destiny and recall the power from the depths within that is required to do it. And all of this, you know, stuff that is sort of encapsulated in the like quintessential gold and of the human experience, like what it's all about, right? So, you know, it's about soul evolution, it's about soul growth, and this period of time right now as we are transitioning ages, like that is what the energetic field is activating within all of us. And is it always like this? I don't know, but it's like this right now. And so, you know, the best thing that we can do moving through this energy is to surrender to the changes that are happening, to not cling on to what we know just cannot go forward, and to move forward in alignment with, you know, what we know on those deeper levels we're being compelled and called towards right now. And as I said, this is also having a lot to do, I mean, Mars, the Mars energy actually has a lot to do with the transformations and the shifts and the changes that are going on with us personally over these next couple of years, of course, because as I said earlier, Mars rules the self. We just began a new 2-year cycle of Mars and the Sun coming together in the sign of Scorpio. This is deep personal transformations, powerful transformations, intense transformations, really going deep about a lot of stuff that is having a significant and life-changing impact over the next 2 years. And of course, Mars ruling the sign of Aries, where the North Node is right now. What is the outcome of this? It is this personal revolution, redefining of the self in alignment with this hero's journey, with this self-mastery, and with this redefinition of self and reclamation of personal power to activate that level or layer of destiny that we're being called towards right now in the context of the greater unfolding cosmic plan and our entrance into the age of Aquarius. So, you know, it's just a little Wednesday, you guys. It's just another day and the passing of time. But from the greater scheme of things, you know, from a higher level, this activation of Venus in the South Node is playing a significant role in helping us actually to move forward along those lines. It's another one of the like energetic codes that is activating, the domino that is falling over, ensuring that the rest of the plan goes according to plan. So, you know, as I said, we really want to do our best to sort of surrender to the things that are coming to the end right now, and you know, embrace the understanding that there is no loss in divine mind, okay? All that we are being released from right now, or all that is being removed from our lives right now, is happening in order such that the next thing that is going to help us along our path and support our progress moving forward in alignment with this greater divinely oriented and activated plan right now can enter our lives and facilitate that process for us. You know, of course, endings and having to let go, this is probably, you know, especially with Chiron in the opposition in Aries, there could just be some painful stuff that's going on right now generally, but it is a clearing, it is a purge, it is a karmic release, and it ultimately is for the purpose of helping us to find where we're supposed to be and find actually something that is much more fulfilling to us on that deeper soul-based level. This is much more about, it's like, as I've been, you know, if you've been watching my videos this past couple weeks, I've been talking about like the death of the facade, like the death of the, like the superficial layer of things, like connections and relationships and just group dynamics, whatever, that are based on these like superficial outer layers. Those are not what are supported in the energy. It's like if it does not connect on and resonate on like a very deep level, if I can't feel like the soul connection, there's not the same level of appeal or attraction for the next couple of years as this Mars Sun cycle takes root, and also especially in the context of this South Node Libra energy as well. So this is what this time is generally indicating to me on an energetic level. Deeply personal karmic release, surrendering that which is no longer a reflection of the truth of our heart, the death of the facade, the death of the image, the rebirth of the true and authentic self. All week, of course, therefore, there could be themes of the past, especially people, connections, conversations, investments, commitments, agreements, deals, negotiations, alliances, judgments, choices, partnerships, friendships, relationships, things that we've loved before. There could be a strong sense of nostalgia kind of flowing as an undercurrent this week as well on our mind. This is also Libra. This is air sign energy. But with it being air sign energy as well, and this is a message that came through in the tarot, which I forgot to mention. I am doing a tarot reading at the end of this astrology reading today. I usually like to say that in my intro so people know, but I'm just realizing now I forgot to say that. But this is a theme that's sort of coming through in the tarot today. There's some type of information actually that is like saving us from ourselves. Like what we're learning, the knowledge that we're gaining, the information perhaps that is coming to us now. This is what is helping to like sever those ties and to detach us maybe from the places that we'd been surrendering power to maintain an image or to keep the peace or to, you know, keep from rocking the boat and stuff like that. Like we are ready to sort of like something about the informational component or the knowledge component is the weapon that we need to help move ourselves forward, which is also correlating to me with the fact that this is also happening in air signs, and it's also happening in a square to Pluto. That's another dimension of this. This is not an exact square, but ever since the nodes moved into Aries and Libra a few months ago, they have been set in a cardinal square at varying proximities with Pluto in Capricorn. And Pluto, of course, this is death and rebirth, this is power in all of its forms, this is transformation. And this is also the underworld energy. This is the devil energy. This is the addictions. This is the attachment. This is surrendering power out of feeling powerless internally and needing something externally to like help us feel secure in the world. And with the square to Pluto right there as well, and the air sign energy, there is definitely something that we're learning, wisdom through experience, knowledge gained, a different perspective, some type of insight, some type of revelation of the mental on a mental level, from the mental realm, that is detaching us and helping us to move forward. So there's that dimension of the energy as it's coming together as well. But ultimately, it is all part of some kind of karmic clearing, karmic purge, karmic release to make way for this new path that we are walking towards our destiny. And new situations are going to come in to fill the voids of, you know, that which we need to release right now. But also remember, this is North Node in the sign of Aries, okay? Chiron is there as well. Chiron energy has a tendency of being a very isolated energy. In the mythology, Chiron sort of spent a lot of time alone in the crystal cave and gaining like a bunch of knowledge and wisdom and stuff like that. And I do think that part of this like individual hero's journey, this journey to self-mastery, overcoming previous states of, you know, victimhood, or personal weaknesses as we are taking back our power, you know, and redefining ourselves and embracing destiny, activating destiny over this next couple of years with the North Node Aries transit. I do think that this is probably going to be more of a solitary journey. Yes, you know, we're not going to be alone forever. Like this is, you're not, you know, if you find yourself in a situation where you're having to distance yourself or detach from some type of group or security blanket or, you know, community-based situation or relationship that you've always found comfort in, and you're, you know, feeling very alone or feeling like it's you against the world. Honestly, like, in order to gain this reconnection to self, like that is, I feel like, what is going to be necessary in a lot of cases, is this more solitary journey over the course of this next period of time. But what it's going to do is help us to, you know, get comfortable being with ourselves, get comfortable in our own vibration, so that when we do come back to the point in time where the emphasis is back on, you know, where we fit into the group and the relational dynamic of things, we will have, we will be able to attract to ourselves that which is an accurate reflection of who we have become by that point in time. Like, we won't have to hide anymore. We won't feel like we need to, you know, alter ourselves in order to be accepted to the same extent. We will be coming from a much greater place of like self-empowerment and self-assuredness, and just like an understanding of who we are and what we really want and what we stand for, and like the boundaries associated with that, and like the self-confidence and stuff like that. So the people that do come into our lives and the relationships that do come into our lives are going to be a reflection of our personal truth, and therefore they are going to be so much more fulfilling than maybe the situations that we've been in the past that were based more on the image or more on the facade or more on the lifestyle in alignment with keeping some type of peace or balance or harmony or something like that in some type of way. So it's setting us up for the real deal going forward. And if you do find yourself in a place where you're kind of feeling like you just need to go at it alone for a little while, there is a lot of value to be gained in that. You know, we are disconnecting from the relational components of things to alter, you know, our value systems, our preferences, our desires, our taste, what we're attracted to, what we find beautiful, like I said earlier. And it's the redefinition of those is going to have a lot to do with how we come to redefine and relate to ourselves going forward. So that's really, I feel like, how this energy is functioning. And symbolically coming through, like this symbolic placement of the planets today, super also emphasizing the deeply insightful and transformative nature of the experiences that are going on right now and what these alignments are really about. Venus and the North Node, or the South Node, coming together at 25 degrees of the sign of Libra. The South Node has been here for a long time. We've been talking about this symbol because of the eclipse season that we've had going on, and that symbol is the sight of an autumn leaf brings to the pilgrim the sudden revelation of the mysteries of life and death. So, I mean, this is obviously a pretty like profound and deep and insightful symbol. And to have this be the place where Venus and the South Node are aligning in the context of this death of the facade energy, like we're really thinking about and prioritizing like what we really value, what is of true importance and significance to us. And it's causing us to seek as well these deeper levels of meaning and purpose and fulfillment, everything this energy is ultimately driving for, and just kind of making us want more from our lives, because maybe something about what's going on right now is making us recognize, right, what is truly important to us in the greater scheme of things. And maybe some type of powerful transformation needs to go on in order to like realign our lives with that conception of reality that we're arriving at now. And then we've got other symbolism going on as well. I mean, the North Node, first of all, that Sabian symbol is a double promise, reveals its inner and outer meaning. So this is also talking about layers of things, right? And going deeper to discover more. The North Node, the destiny point, you know, gaining opportunity moving forward to unlock the potential within us that maybe we've been blind to or haven't even been able to see because of what we've been concerned with maintaining up until this period of time. We've also got the position of the Sun and the Earth at 8 degrees of Sagittarius and 8 degrees of Gemini today. The Earth at 8 degrees of Gemini, that Sabian symbol is aroused strikers surround a factory. Again, like, what are we no longer willing to put up with? What is not worth our time or not worth our attention or not worth our investment anymore? And what are we going to do about it? What are we going to walk away from? Or what, you know, maybe like ultimatum with the Libra energy too are we going to put out there? And then the position of the Sun, 8 degrees of Sag. Within the depths of the earth, new elements are being formed. So this is right in alignment to me with the, you know, the sight of the autumn leaf brings to the pilgrim the sudden revelations of life and death. And this is like literally within the depths of the earth, within the depths of the body, new elements are being formed. Like this rebirth process is going on, and it's starting from this seed within that wants to blossom and wants to transform our reality externally, if we only like nurture that within that is seeking expression, and you know that we're being called to care for at this point in time. Also, back to that Cancer moon, right? Bringing up these nurturing vibes, these TLC vibes, this compassion, and, you know, really putting care into something maybe after what we've been through this past couple of weeks. So, you know, it's really, we're going very, very deep, you guys. We began a new 2-year Mars-Sun cycle in the sign of Scorpio. So things are going to be very deep over the course of the next 2 years. But I feel like, you know, really what this is all boiling down to at the end of the day, this Libra, South Node, Venus conjunction opposite the North Node in Aries, squaring Pluto. This is the part, okay, where we take off the mask and we leave the party if costumes are still required for attendance. If we can't be honest with ourselves, if we can't be honest with others, it's going to become much less appealing to be a part of whatever social situation requires the lack of authenticity. We maybe in the past have been willing to sacrifice dimensions of ourselves in order to accommodate these group settings and scenarios because of the benefit we were deriving from it and the value that we associated with that. However, now moving forward, I feel like it's just the opposite. We're going to be willing to sacrifice the group dynamic of things and maybe a level of the, you know, the peace or the harmony somehow, in order to do what is right for us, in order to do what we know in our heart that we need to do. Expect fractures in relationships, teams, social circles, group dynamics, communities generally, that were based upon these more superficial images rather than the authentic connections. Like I was saying earlier, you know, if it doesn't resonate or connect to us deeply, it's just not what we're going to be, you know, it's not going to be our desire or preference, not going to be what we want anymore. Personal growth can no longer be stifled. And so people are going to be operating more so along these lines going forward. It's coming through across multiple repeating patterns. Okay, we've got, first of all, we've got the sun and Mars in Sagittarius and square to Saturn. That's talking about like trying to break through to some type of personal expansion or self-expression. North Node in Aries ruled by Mars. This is a year-and-a-half long process of redefining self and going on some type of personal journey. Venus and the South Node in the sign of Libra. This is detaching from what is no longer a true reflection of that which is in our heart. Anything that is unfair, that is unbalanced, that has been toxic to us in any type of a way, that's stifling our growth in terms of what we want, what we desire, what we value, and who we're becoming now. And then of course this all happening also in the square to Pluto. Like tumultuous transformation, powerful transformation, breakdown, but also renewal. And then at these degrees, okay, the sight of the autumn leaf brings to the pilgrim the sudden revelation. And then deep within the earth, the new elements are being formed. Like it's all going very deep, but it's all, there's a powerful purpose behind it. And it's actually to like free our spirit on some level to do some service to a higher power moving forward. So that's all the cosmic tea, you guys. I feel like that's how energy right now fits into this greater unfolding cosmic narrative, and what you might notice this week as universe works itself out in your experience. Of course, you know, today, tomorrow, Thursday, this Cancer moon, as I've said, self-care, recovery, TLC, staying home, emphasis on the needs of the people, or, you know, the people in our lives, our own personal needs, the needs of the people at large, something like that. Friday, the moon will enter Leo. Mercury will enter Capricorn. That will be a bit of a vibe shift, and we will enter the month of December. So I will be back talking about astrology for my December forecast on Friday. And that is what I'm going to say about the astrology for today, Wednesday and Thursday. So let's talk about the tarot for a minute, you guys. As I mentioned earlier, there's something about information, like what we're learning, knowledge that we're gaining, you know, something that we're hearing, insight that is coming to us, something that we're being made aware of that is actually like functioning as a literal like weapon, helping us to cut ourselves free from something that we've been attached to that has been either keeping us trapped in a state of like fear or anxiety, like racing thoughts, kind of not being able to just kind of like relax or sleep or feel secure, or that has just been like making us feel like emotionally unsettled or emotionally unfulfilled in some type of way, or has been generally just like wreaking havoc in our relationships somehow. Okay, this is the layout of the cards that we had coming out. We've got the Ten of Cups in reverse. We've got the Knight of Cups in reverse. We've got the Nine of Swords in reverse. And then we have the Knight of Swords upright. And then on the back of the deck, we have the Devil over the Ten of Pentacles, over the Eight of Pentacles, and a bunch of other cards that are kind of meaningful to me as well, but I'm not going to like show you guys all the deck because there was like 15 of them. There was like a kind of like a story that they were all telling. But anyways, you know, the greater message I feel like that is coming through here, the way that all these cards are laid out is with the Devil on the back of the deck, but also with the Knight of Swords being the upright card at the other end of the cards, directly facing the Devil and running at him with sword held high. Like, this guy is going to slice through these chains that are binding these people together with this sword. And when we're talking about sword energy, that has to do with information, ideas, insight, like like a plan, or like some type of like mental energy or understanding, perspective, mental frame that is acting as the facilitating force to decouple us from whatever we've been bound or attached to that has been stealing our power. This is like some type, like learning something, and knights are messengers as well. So this is like a message that we're receiving, or something that we are learning that is actually empowering us to a level where we can detach ourselves from something that has been keeping us trapped in like a state of uncertainty, or a state of anxiety, or feeling unfulfilled, or feeling empty, or feeling neglected, or feeling alone also on an emotional level. You know what I mean? This toxic energy. We're talking about the 10 of Cups. This is also like addictions, toxic relationship dynamics. This can be like codependency and like narcissistic abuse going on and stuff like that when we've got the Devil. But there is some type of mentality, or there is some type of messaging, or there is some type of conversation. It's like this is words being the weapon. And this is also, it's interesting also because we have this full moon that was in Gemini in the square to Saturn in the opposition to Mars, which is also a very much like words as weapon, like information war type of situation. So I don't know, this is like some type of powerful conversation, or, you know, words coming out, or like I've been saying, like understanding, insight, knowledge, whatever, that is having the effect of like slaying the beast. So, and it's directly related to like blocking us from what we truly want somehow, with both the 10 of Pentacles underneath the Devil and the 10 of Cups in reverse is one of the cards coming out. That's like you know, kind of like the ideal scenario for us, both physically and emotionally. It's like something about this Devil energy, or this surrendering power, or this toxic relationship, or this toxic attachment has actually been blocking our ability to have the ideal relationship situation, or emotional fulfillment, or like physical like stability on a more like higher level and stuff like that. Something like that, some attachment, or just negative scenario that we've been engaged in, or that has been, you know, habitually a part of our experience, or whatever. Something that we're saying or that we're thinking, bringing that to an end. So I don't know, you guys, that's what it seems to say, and it fits right in with the astrology and all that's going on right now. So maybe we are having some type of like epiphany, or gaining in a level of awareness, or having some type of an awakening that is helping us to shift our mind in such a way to like move on from things that we've been attached to in the past, that have actually maybe we thought we needed, but have been keeping us from being able to achieve that what we really truly want on that deeper level. So I don't know, let's grab a synchronicity card now. God, Spirit, Universe, what's some good advice for us as we close out November and we've got this energy going on? What would be a good mantra for us? What do we need to know? Success and victory. There you go, guys. I like that one. The desire of the righteous shall be granted. Proverbs 10:42. If you wish to lead a good life, you must have good thoughts. You are on your way. God is working for you. You can be assured of success and victory. So, you know, whatever is going on right now, you guys, it is working to bring you to a much higher level of success, victory, and fulfillment. And we just gotta sort of go with the flow right now and trust the plan that's underway. We're talking about the nodes being very directly implicated in all of this for our full moon that we're coming out of right now. Mercury, the messenger planet, ruler of that moon, was also an exact aspect to the nodes of the moon. Very fated, destined times right now. And things are working in our favor in terms of helping us to up level in our lives. So success and victory on its way to you. That's what I have to say today, you guys. Message from the stars, message from the cards. Hope you guys liked it. If you did like it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends if you think that they would appreciate this type of astrology content as well. Leave me comments. I really enjoy your presence here. I'm so grateful for all of you. And I like knowing what's going on with you guys out there. If you're you're having experiences that line up with what I'm talking about in these videos, please let me know in my comment section below. That actually is very valuable to me. Like I said, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. If you want to know what's on this whiteboard, I post a picture of these whiteboards in a Facebook group that I have, which is linked in my description box below. And come back with me on Friday, you guys. Like I said, I'm going to be putting out the December forecast. So we're going to take a look at the month of December week by week and, you know, summarize the whole thing and see where our next chapter in the cosmic blueprint is pulling us towards. So I will be back, you guys. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. And I will see you next time. Have a beautiful day, everybody. And until next time, bye.